In the tranquil forests of Rajagaya, the Buddha rested beneath the canopy of a majestic sal tree. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting shimmering patterns on the ground. A gentle breeze carried the fragrance of wildflowers and the murmur of distant streams. Disciples gathered around him, their robes forming a sea of saffron and serenity. I approached the Buddha with a mind weighed down by endless questions. My steps were hesitant, my thoughts restless and scattered. As I bowed, his presence enveloped me with a profound calmness. His serene gaze met mine, both understanding and unwavering. You and your disciples seem idle while our village struggles to harvest crops and feed hungry mouths, the man exclaimed. Is it idleness you accuse me of? Or is it a different burden that weighs on your mind? The Buddha asked. Speak, my friend, he said. Share your thoughts and let us uncover their roots together. I knelt before him, clasping my hands as I struggled to articulate my worries. Master, I feel consumed by fear and frustration. How can I stay calm when everything around me is unstable? The Buddha picked up a simple earthen pot resting nearby, examining it thoughtfully. This pot holds the answer you seek, he said, placing it before me. I stared at it, puzzled by his cryptic words. Tell me, he continued, what would you feel if this pot were to suddenly break and scatter into pieces? I hesitated, thinking deeply about his question. I suppose I would feel disheartened, for the pot is both useful and a symbol of my efforts. The Buddha nodded, his expression both solemn and gentle. Understand this: every material object is impermanent, already destined to fall apart. The pot is already broken. His words sank into my mind like seeds falling into fertile soil. My heart wrestled with the idea of impermanence. But Master, I said, how can accepting impermanence truly bring peace? Does it not remind us of inevitable loss? The Buddha smiled again, his voice steady yet tender. It is this acceptance that liberates us from sorrow and fear. By embracing impermanence, we remove our attachment to illusions of permanence. His hand gestured toward the surrounding forest, the towering trees and vibrant flowers. Look around you, he said. These trees will one day fall. These flowers will one day wilt. Yet, they flourish now. The disciples nodded silently, their eyes reflecting the deep resonance of his words. Each seemed lost in their own thoughts. Connected to his wisdom, I gazed at the forest, noticing details I had overlooked in my distracted state. The sunlight, the vibrant colors, the harmonious interplay of life and decay. My breath steadied, my heart softened as understanding began to dawn. The same applies to your own mind, the Buddha continued. Do not cling to fleeting states of joy or sorrow. Accept them. His words were both illuminating and challenging, like rays of sunlight breaking through the clouds. I began to grasp the profound truth behind his teaching. But what about the expectations I hold for my life and others? I asked, my voice trembling with vulnerability. The Buddha reached out and touched the earthen pot gently, his fingers tracing its surface. Expectations are like this pot. They, too, are destined to shatter. See their fragility and you will find peace. A silence settled over the gathering, broken only by the rustling of leaves and chirping of birds. His words seemed to echo across the forest, a timeless melody reverberating in the hearts of those present. I closed my eyes, allowing his teaching to sink into the depths of my being. He shared a story, woven from the tapestry of life in a bustling village where wisdom unfolded amid ordinary choices. A farmer in Rajgir sought to divide his land among his children. Yet the flames of greed clouded his initial judgment, Buddha said. His voice broke the silence again, serene and unwavering. Remember, my friend, calmness is not the absence of turbulence but the acceptance of life's impermanence and unpredictability. I opened my eyes, gazing at the earthen pot with a newfound perspective. I understand now. Master, I said, my voice steady and resolute. Calmness arises when we accept the reality of impermanence and release our attachments to expectations. The Buddha smiled, his gaze warm and approving. You have taken the first step, my friend. Continue to reflect and practice, and peace shall find you. With that, he rose, his movements fluid like water flowing effortlessly through a stream. The disciples followed suit, their faces serene and contemplative. As the gathering dispersed, I felt a profound sense of clarity and purpose. My heart lighter than ever before. The forest seemed to come alive with renewed vibrancy. Each sound and sight infused with a newfound awareness. As the afternoon sun warmed the gathering, the Buddha spoke of kindness born not in convenience but in moments of sacrifice. Compassion does not judge who is deserving, Buddha said. It seeks always to uplift, heal, and guide toward truth and wisdom. A merchant once faced ruin after his ship's goods fell prey to the winds and waves, scattering his wealth to the sea. Broken-hearted yet moved by the sight of hungry villagers, he shared his remaining provisions freely. Despite his own hardships, Buddha shared. His teaching became the cornerstone of my practice, a beacon guiding me through the storms of life, through the episodes of joy, sorrow, gain, and loss. I learned to embrace the impermanence woven into the fabric of existence. Calmness became not a fleeting state but a steadfast companion. Born from acceptance and understanding, the earthen pot remained by my side. Its surface weathered and cracked, yet holding the essence of the lesson it once imparted. I came to see it not as a fragile object but as a resilient presence, embodying the wisdom of impermanence. As I journeyed forward, I encountered challenges that tested my newfound calmness, each time returning to the Buddha's words for guidance. His teaching became a living presence, a source of strength and inspiration. Years later, I found myself once again at the gathering in the forest. Beneath the shade of the sal tree, the Buddha spoke to a new generation of disciples, his wisdom as timeless and resonant as ever. I sat among them, a quiet smile gracing my face, the earthen pot resting at my feet. Another day, the assembly gathered beneath the Bodhi tree, the Buddha's serene presence drawing them into the promise of profound wisdom. The sky above mirrored the stillness of the disciples' minds, prepared to absorb lessons that might forever shape their lives. Ananda, the Buddha began, his voice as steady as the earth. Resolve is the jewel that completes the wisdom of decision-making. Without resolve, Buddha continued, clarity and compassion remain unfinished, unable to manifest their full power and transform intention into action. Ananda asked, Master, how can resolve endure when doubt creeps into the heart, urging one to abandon even the noblest pursuit? The Buddha answered, resolve grows when rooted in purpose, watered by patience, and strengthened through practice amid the storms of life. Imagine a craftsman polishing a jewel, Buddha explained. Each stroke brings brilliance closer, yet doubt tempts him to leave the work incomplete. The sun bathed the landscape in golden light, illuminating the lush greenery and shimmering water. Disciples followed closely, their robes fluttering in the gentle breeze. A farmer stormed toward the Buddha, his face red with anger and frustration. Monk, the farmer shouted, his voice echoing across the river. With clarity, he discerned his values. With compassion, he considered his people. With resolve, he decided to protect his city. His unwavering commitment inspired unity among his fellow citizens, forging strength that repelled the invaders and secured peace, Buddha recounted. The warrior's resolve transformed fear into courage, division into harmony, and uncertainty into decisive action that benefited the whole, Buddha concluded. Ananda, moved by the story, reflected, Master, how can resolve balance between rigidity and adaptability? ensuring neither extreme dominates the course of action? Resolve must align with wisdom, Buddha replied, allowing the mind to adapt while remaining anchored to the enduring truths guiding decisions. Speak, monk, the farmer demanded, his fists clenched. How can your teachings help when my life is in disarray? The Buddha inclined his head slightly, his eyes reflecting infinite patience and understanding. Friend, he said, his voice soothing, tell me, why does your anger burn so fiercely within you? The farmer took a step closer, his chest heaving with emotion. My anger comes from loss and frustration, he said, his tone less forceful. How can I remain calm when everything seems to be falling apart? The Buddha gestured to the flowing river, its surface rippling gently against the stones and reeds. Observe this river, he said. It flows freely, undisturbed by the obstacles in its path. The farmer furrowed his brows, his anger momentarily overshadowed by curiosity. Your mind, too, the Buddha continued, can flow like this river if you release the fire of anger within you. Disciples listened intently, their faces serene as they absorbed the wisdom shared by their teacher. The farmer hesitated, his anger softening, his thoughts shifting towards self-reflection. The disciples reflected on their personal struggles, finding renewed hope in the wisdom guiding them toward stronger resolve. Resolve is not isolation, Buddha said. Anger is indeed powerful, but it burns the one who holds it, consuming peace and clarity. The farmer glanced at the river again, its flowing water embodying the harmony of movement and resilience. His breathing steadied, his fists unclenching. How, monk, can I extinguish this fire within me? He asked, his voice quieter, seeking guidance. The Buddha extended his hand toward the farmer, his palm open and inviting. Release your grip, he said, and the flame will extinguish itself. Anger binds us to suffering. Freedom lies in letting go. The farmer stood in silence, his gaze shifting between the Buddha and the river. His anger, once fierce and unyielding, dissipated like smoke fading into the sky. Bowing low, he stepped back, his heart lighter and his thoughts clearer. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. His words resonated deeply, causing the disciples to reflect on their own tendencies to judge and their capacity for compassion. I shall tell you a story, said the Buddha, his voice steady, inviting the disciples to immerse themselves in his teachings. The farmer departed, his steps steady and his spirit renewed. The memory of the encounter etched in his mind. The Buddha watched him go, his face serene, knowing the seed of wisdom had been planted. Disciples gathered closer, their expressions a mix of reverence and inspiration. The river continued to flow, its gentle rhythm mirroring the harmony of the teachings shared by the enlightened one. His words felt like a soothing balm, calming the turmoil within me and offering a path to the liberation I sought. Lastly, Buddha said, cultivate gratitude for the opportunity to learn and grow, recognizing ignorance as a stepping stone to wisdom. Bowing deeply, he expressed his gratitude, his voice steady and sincere. Monk, he said, your wisdom has changed my life. I feel peace where anger once consumed me. The Buddha smiled, his gaze warm and approving, acknowledging the farmer's journey toward calmness and self-awareness. The disciples listened, their hearts filled with hope and resolve to deepen their practice. The Buddha gestured toward the river once more, its flowing water an eternal reminder of equanimity. Let this river guide you, the Buddha said, its calmness born from its ability to move around obstacles without resistance. The farmer bowed, again, his thoughts inspired by the teaching, his heart imbued with gratitude. The Buddha turned to his disciples, his eyes meeting each one with profound understanding. Learn from this moment, my friends, he said, and practice letting go of the anger that binds us to suffering. Disciples reflected on his words, their minds drawn toward the transformative power of calmness. As the gathering dispersed, the farmer remained by the river, watching its flow with newfound clarity. He picked up a lotus flower, its petals radiant, holding it before his disciples as an emblem of purity. Like this flower, said the Buddha, compassion blooms when nourished by patience and the understanding of impermanence. The sun set over the fields of Magadha, its golden rays fading into hues of twilight, casting a serene glow across the land. The Buddha walked along the riverbank, his steps slow and deliberate, his presence radiating calmness and compassion. Master, she said, I often find myself judging those who seem idle while I labor tirelessly for my family's well-being. The Buddha's eyes reflected empathy as he replied, judgment arises from separation. Compassion arises from seeing yourself within others. As the days turned into weeks, the farmer continued to reflect on the encounter, each time uncovering deeper layers of meaning within the Buddha's words. His journey became a testament to the enduring power of the teachings shared by the Enlightened One. The Peer, undeterred, continued his steady practice, eventually attaining insights that surpassed the monk's understanding. When judgment clouded the monk's mind, he failed to see the profound progress unfolding in his peer, the Buddha explained. His story illuminated the dangers of judgment, encouraging the disciples to cultivate humility and patience in their interactions with others. Compassion requires seeing beyond appearances, the Buddha said, to the essence of each being's journey, unique yet interconnected. He gestured toward the stream flowing nearby, its waters uniting all it touched without judgment or preference. Be like the stream, he advised. Flow freely and nourish without discrimination, allowing compassion to guide your every action. The disciples closed their eyes, meditating on the stream's movement and the Buddha's words that flowed seamlessly like its currents. When they opened their eyes, the world appeared clearer, their hearts lighter, ready to embrace compassion in its fullness. Another day, the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree in the tranquil monastery, his presence serene and unwavering. A soft breeze rustled the leaves above, scattering shadows across the ground. Disciples gathered in silent meditation, their breaths synchronized with the rhythm of nature. Ananda approached the Buddha with a troubled expression, his steps hesitant. He bowed deeply before speaking, his voice tinged with unease. Master, Ananda began, praise and criticism constantly pull at my mind, leaving it unsteady. How can one remain calm amid such forces? The Buddha looked at him with compassion, his gaze steady and understanding. He gestured to a smooth, round stone nearby. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Ananda gazed at the stone, its simplicity profound. As the Buddha continued, your mind, too, can find this equanimity if you cease to be swayed by external words. By cultivating humility and gratitude, Buddha said, your roots are your foundation. It begins with understanding, my friend, that praise and blame are but passing winds. They do not define you. The disciples sat in silence, their reflections deepened by the stillness of the pond, their hearts lightened by the teachings imparted. Buddha knelt one final time, his fingers brushing the petals of the lotus, their softness a reminder of life's fragility and beauty. Storms may come, shaking branches, but the roots endure. Ananda closed his eyes, visualizing the metaphor as his breath deepened. The Buddha continued, his words imbued with both wisdom and tenderness. Equanimity arises when you embrace the impermanence of all opinions and remain centered in your own awareness. The disciples nodded, their faces reflecting the deep resonance of his teachings. But Master, Ananda said, his brow furrowed with lingering doubt, how does one respond to false criticism or undeserved praise? The Buddha smiled, his voice gentle yet firm. Respond not with anger, nor with pride. Simply see words as they are, mere sounds carried by the wind. The Buddha picked up a handful of sand, letting it fall slowly to the ground. Just as this sand slips through fingers, he said, let words pass without clinging to them. Ananda watched the sand fall, his doubts beginning to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Master, Ananda said, his voice steadier, what if the words of others cause pain or harm to those around me? The Buddha placed the stone back on the ground, its presence unshaken. Compassion guides your response, Ananda, but calmness must anchor your heart. The disciples listened intently, their hearts open to the timeless wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. Compassion arises naturally when the heart opens. He gestured to the flowing stream nearby, its waters joining seamlessly with tributaries. You have given me a path, Master, he said, his voice filled with newfound resolve. I will practice equanimity and compassion together. They meditated on the interconnectedness of life, finding solace in its profound simplicity. Sudama stood beside Rahula, his voice steady yet reflective. The Buddha sat in meditation, his presence a source of infinite peace. Disciples dispersed, their hearts carrying the lesson of equanimity like a lantern in the dark. Ananda returned to his quarters, the stone now resting on a small altar, a symbol of his practice. Days passed, and he found himself less swayed by the tides of praise and blame. Steadier in his heart, he turned to the villagers, offering his presence as an example. Together, sorrow becomes an opportunity for growth and understanding, he said. It unites rather than isolates. Ananda stepped forward, holding the cloth aloft. Years later, Ananda stood before the Buddha once more, his face serene, his spirit unwavering. Master, he said, bowing deeply, your teachings have transformed my heart. I no longer fear the winds of words. The Buddha smiled, his gaze filled with a quiet, enduring pride. The stone remained by the Bodhi tree, weathered by time yet unchanged in essence. It became a symbol of resilience, a reminder of the timeless power of equanimity. Villagers and disciples alike came to the monastery, seeking the wisdom that had touched so many lives. The lesson of the stone echoed through generations, a beacon guiding countless souls toward peace and understanding. Their hearts felt lighter, their minds awakened. Kappa, the introspective disciple, posed the next question. Master, does compassion diminish when shared widely? Does its strength weaken with each offering? His tone carried traces of uncertainty. Buddha turned to Kappa, his expression calm and steady. Compassion, like the sun, does not grow weaker by shining upon many, he said. It thrives in abundance. He extended his arms toward the horizon, the setting sun illuminating his words. Offer compassion without hesitation, Buddha encouraged. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.